we're gonna have, I said it's gonna, oh, I see. Okay, it really is like that. I just have to do one side and something happens. I still don't know about the balloons though. It was so weird. 2, 1. Maybe it was like a timer. 3, 2, no, 3, 2, 1. No, I can't do it. Anyway, so it's really going to be a bit feeling like history. So you're going to see a face of someone, one of the scientists, every time. So in this case, we're looking at the scientist J.J. Thomson. I'm just going to shorten it as J.J., as you see here. Because usually for scientists, we only just remember the last name, right? So Thomson in this case. So this was about the time of 1897. And in this case, we first discovered for the atom the electron. So what happened, they had some sort of like tube. Tube is what we call like a sort of something where you can look through basically even. It's like a tube. So you have a tube here. So something that would be structured like this, a tube. And in this case, they did this experiment. And what happened is this experiment had this sort of setup, and it helped them find out about the electron, something that has a negative charge. So in this case, what would happen is you'd see basically that when you have the negative charge, you have the positive plate, the negative and positive attract each other, right? Ian, maybe let me ask you, when you think about a magnet and you have two magnets, then which sides of the magnet go towards each other? So almost collide. So if you have two magnets, plus, minus, plus, minus, which sides of the two, if you bring them together, will come together?
Plus and minus sign.
Exactly, right? So plus and minus will be attracting each other. Okay. And then opposite way, opposite logic, if you have negative and negative, what happens, Alice? If you put negative and negative next to each other?
They push on others.
Exactly, they will push each other away, right? So this simple logic we can apply here as well, where they had something negatively charged particles and they threw them through this tube. And what happened is that they were attracted to this positive plate here. This is positively charged. And in this case, this helped them find out about the electrons that we have in our atoms. So that we have basically now, remember the first picture was just this model. Now we knew within here are even negative charges as well. So there are smaller parts in our atom, not just the atom, but there's something smaller. So this was the first step to say. Then, so here now we can look what he came to create as a model. This is what he then created to be the electrons. And then he just said there's sort of like a cloud. So there's positive and negative particles spread out. So just spread out all over the atom was what he thought after his experiment. And at that point of time, everyone then thought this is what the atom looks like. Okay? And this is what we call the plum pudding model. So it has a bit of a funny name, to be honest. Plum pudding model. So, and then we had this model, but this looks like a lot of text, but it's okay, it's easy. So we have another scientist's face. In this case, this is Rutherford. And this is 1909. And basically, he did a very famous experiment. This is gold, okay? So a very thin piece, like a paper